this one thing happens for Ethereum, then it's going to be absolutely massive. And I think what's showing on the Bitcoin chart right now is going to confirm my theory of what could be about to happen. Guys, jumping into the Ethereum chart, we looked at this the other day when we were approaching this area, and I said that we were seeing some solid resistance coming in here at this demand zone, and I did expect to see a sell-off down towards lower levels. Now, one thing that could potentially be a bit of a problem if we look at the Ethereum chart before looking at the Bitcoin chart is we are running out of room in terms of this particular pattern that we are seeing here. But actually, because of what's showing on the Bitcoin chart, I do actually think that we're not going to be trickling and heading down towards the downside, because I think if we are losing this line of support here and we get into this demand zone again, that there's no real guarantee that that demand zone will hold. And if we are dropping out of that demand zone, then you're looking at a potential drop, guys, from current prices down another like 40%, which would take you to around $680 to sort of $700. Now, that's obviously not guaranteed, guys. I'm pretty confident right now what's going on in the Bitcoin price is going to shoot us higher up. But just before we jump across to Bitcoin, guys, I want to look at another time frame, and that's the 15-minute time frame. Now, obviously, we're seeing ourselves running into something here. How do I know that? Well, I can see these wicks and things right now. What can I see across to the left? Where were we before? What is showing up in this zone? Well, now obviously, guys, we had that big push up through here, and we then came back to retest this sort of area just below it. And as you can see, dragging that across, we haven't quite got into this zone yet. And I would expect to see Ethereum taking a little bit further of a fall, perhaps, you know, another $100 or so, give or take, but we could see this sort of dip continue. And not only that, we double it up, we have got some form of a descending wedge as well. Now, when these two things match up, we get supply zones or demand zones on the other way, and we also have technical analysis showing us patterns coming together, guys. More often than not, this is a fantastic trade setup. But it's what's happening over on Bitcoin, guys, because obviously Bitcoin moves, the entire market moves, and Ethereum will always move aggressively along with Bitcoin, right? So two things we can see. Unlike Ethereum having that rising wedge, we had a symmetrical triangle, and some people were looking at this as a rising wedge with a sort of a fake out and a drop towards the downside. But actually, I'm looking at this slightly differently. You can see that we've got this upper trend line here. We've had various sort of demand zones as we're going up. Now, something else as well, jumping back, and it's much clearer to see here on the Bitcoin chart than on the Ethereum chart, is this area here. So you can see we're looking into this zone. We are starting to show signs of a retracement. So we look back before and we can see what was happening here before this massive push up. And I want to show, and I want you to think, guys, how big the market cap of Bitcoin is and how much money it really takes to move it. This is like institutional buying basically coming up. They're taking this up. There's a number of sells coming in. It gets back down into this area and they're looking to accumulate once more. Which is why we see a bit of indecision here. Filling up orders each time, and then boom to the upside. As well as this line here of previous resistance, we've also got this line down here of support, which it gets flipped into resistance. A lot of things are coming together here to show me that actually right now we might be about to see a big push from the Bitcoin price. Coming up to the daily, guys, we have got a nice falling wedge here, which will pretty much guarantee, guys, not financial advice, go away and do your own research because I'm not a financial advisor. In my own head, I pretty much guarantee that Bitcoin is going to be breaking bullish out of this at some point. I do not believe that Bitcoin is going to break towards the downside on this wedge, right? Because usually that's when we have wedges that are steep like that, and they'll tend to get demolished towards the downside. This has been a progressive dip coming down, and every time, guys, we are having these kind of rips towards the downside each time, but eventually one of these is going to turn around. And when we break beyond this pattern, and it does look like potentially that could happen sooner rather than later. The other side of this, guys, is towards the end of this month. If we are pushing out of here sooner rather than later, then we are then potentially looking at this being the end of the current bearish cycle. Now, another thing we can kind of potentially say is that if we were to draw, is that on the daily, if we were to have our demand zone, it would be down at this sort of level. We have got a shoulder here, we've come up. This could potentially be another shoulder and a head pattern, which if this happens, we would see Bitcoin returning to around 18,468, Ethereum doing similar things, and then potentially we could see something like this. And then into August, I believe that we're going to start to see some significant movement in the other direction. And looking as well on the daily with Ethereum, similar things could well be happening, guys. In terms of like lower down price targets, if we were to kind of get lower, then I think we're still looking at being around $1,000. Maybe we could see a little wick further. I don't really believe that we're going to go significantly lower than where we are right now in the crypto market, guys. Tell me what you think down below. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think you've got prices set up for way lower? Because when everyone tells me down below that the price is going to go way lower, that tends to mean to me that we are actually going to go in an upwards direction, because the markets tend to move in the opposite of the mass idea, right? So keep your eyes peeled in the shorter term, guys. I think at worst case, we're going to be dropping down towards $1,000 in the shorter term. Still good accumulation zones, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a swing around 20 to 25%, but depending on your kind of strategy, if you're long-term buying, then still good prices to buy, in my opinion, because I believe Ethereum is going to be worth 5, maybe even 10 times this going down the line. Someone who's looking to get back into the crypto market now, I'm now looking to accumulate, and anywhere around this zone is perfectly fine for me. If it falls 20%, then obviously, so what? I'll just buy more and it will continue to accumulate at these levels, and then I wait for the pushes back towards the $4,000 or maybe even higher, but we'll bring you that as it happens, guys. If you want to be kept up to date with that, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you've enjoyed today's content, then smash the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.